Hi, I'm Chanel. Nurses on the Isle of Man will march through Douglas next week in a protest over pay. The Royal College of Nursing is holding the peaceful demonstration on Tuesday. I spoke to Mary Ann Parkinson, the RCN Senior Regional Officer for the Isle of Man.
Well, the demonstration is it's a public demonstration, really, to let the public know, as well as the management within Manx Care, along with the MHKs, that the nurses are very unhappy about the pay terms and conditions.
Can you tell me a little bit about the activity on the day? I know you guys are going to, I think it's a 4-mile walk.
Yeah, we're walking from Nobles Hospital right the way down past Timwall. Timwall is holding its meeting, so we want to walk past Timwall, but some members of the organisation will be attending Timwall. They'll be going in and listening, possibly asking questions. We previously had a meeting with the MHKs last Monday evening and did seek to get a lot of information from them, but it's to make the wider Timwall aware that the money that they've allocated to Manx Care isn't enough for Manx Care to increase their offer. So it's to try and make them aware that, we're not going away. The nurses and the nursing support workers are saying, whilst we've had an offer, it's not enough. It's not restored us to be able to have a work-life balance with respect to living on the island and having a good standard of living. The other issue is that they really want to push the recruitment and retention. Whilst there are vacancies at the moment and the international educated nurses have been recruited, there are significant gaps, and they're really concerned about safe staffing, and the delivery of safe and patient care. So it's a bit of a mix around the pay, but it's also about safe staffing. And then we will walk on and finish at Villiers Square, where we'll disperse. We're only doing it for the morning, so we're setting off in waves, the first at 9:15, and then once there's a group of us together, then another group will set off, because we know it's a public highway, and whilst we want to make a visible presence, we don't want to be too obstructive with people going around the daily activities of living.
How many members are we expecting to be part of this action?
Well, that's the $1 million question, because people can only attend if they're not allocated to work. It's not strike action, so it's a protest march. So it's anybody who is free at the time to come and attend. We know we're constantly working at a vacancy rate and a sickness and absence rate, which is higher than normal. So we're unsure. We're hoping to get sort of 50 to 100, but we're not sure. We have invited our other staff side organisations and members of the public if anybody wants to come and join us, but it is a peaceful protest. It's a protest around the current offer that's being made by Manx Care. It's a protest to get people of the public to realise and speak to us about it. People hear things and see things on the news as we're doing this interview, but to get the story behind it. So as a nurse coming over to the island, as a band 5, I can afford to get the job and I can get a living wage. But is it a living wage? Because I can't afford to live there and I can't afford to get around the island because my wages is going on my rent. So it's that kind of thing we want the public to understand. It's more than just the wages. It's about me coming and doing a safe and effective job. And unfortunately, at the moment, because of the staffing and the skill mixing, we don't believe we can do that. And we're hemorrhaging people. People are leaving. We can't retain people.
Has this been a long time coming?
I think it's been as long as the senior officer covering the Isle of Man. We've always had disputes, which usually have been resolved in arbitration. Going far back as 2010, we've never managed to get a pay award done in the time. We have never, ever resorted to this form of action. So the membership are very, very clear and passionate about what they're saying is, no, enough's enough. So did we see it coming? We knew there was unrest. Did we know that there was this much passion and drive to take this kind of action? We didn't until we took the survey and the ballot. And obviously we've got to listen to our membership. We have the majority voting. That we need something more than what they've currently.
When you have these kinds of demonstrations across, because the area is much bigger, you get lots of members out there. Now, because it's a smaller island, is there any hesitation or any members afraid to be seen in public?
I don't think there's a nervousness. I think there's an understanding and an acceptance on the island. Not only are our members of staff, trying to deliver safe and effective care, but they're also members of the public. And it is an island, so everybody knows somebody. So we have had conversations with people that we may get members of the public who don't like what we're doing, but we'll hopefully have people who are acting as March supervisors who will address that with that person if they do get any kind of abuse or any unwanted attention. We have made it open. It is an open, there's no third line whip to attend, but we would like to see as many members as we can. And we've even said, even if they can't do the whole walk, to join us at any point, we would, welcome any member joining us, just to give that visibility and just to say. And the reason we're doing it is we weren't sure what the outcome of the ballots that we had, and we wanted to keep the momentum up. With the MHK's meeting last week, Timwell was meeting next week, and then we will be taking industrial action. We have been given the mandate to do that. We only have until Tuesday, the 25th of July, to take that action. So we will be proceeding with this kind of activity ongoing until we get a resolution to the current dispute.
Right. Just if I can ask, you mentioned taking industrial action. Is that scheduled for the 25th of July?
What we're saying at the moment, because it's still going through our internal governance routes, and our president, Pat Cullen, is the only person who can call the industrial action day and say when. But what I'm saying to you is we've received a mandate from our membership. We've informed the employer, and the employer has now put us on a timeline, and that timeline runs out on Tuesday, the 25th of July. We have to have taken action by then.
Is there anything you'd like to add or you'd like to say?
No, I don't. I genuinely don't think there is at this point. I think it's very sad. We are very, very sad and very disappointed that we've had to go down this route. But the members on the island are genuinely concerned for the members of the public with respect to safe staffing and effective care. With the current staff that they've got and the difficulties around the recruitment and retention, pay is only one part of it, but it's a significant part on the island because of the cost of living and the way of getting round. People haven't got choices. So if they come over, we're going to have to make it more inviting. And that's why we met with the MHKs last week to sort of work with them around the infrastructure and the other councils of ministers to see, what can we do. We really do want to work with Manx Care, but they're telling us that their purse is empty now. They can't offer any more, and the government haven't issued them with any additional funding. So we unfortunately have had to take this action.
From the meeting with the MHKs, does it seem as though it could be going swinging in the right direction?
I wouldn't say it's going in the wrong direction, but I don't think it's going in the direction to resolve this matter. It was more around the wider issues around housing, discounts, travel on and off the island. It was around the other areas on the island that the government have conversations with that could impact on our members' work-life balances and cost of living increases. So as far as issuing any further monies, no, we didn't get any of that from the meeting last Monday, but we were very clear we weren't there to talk specifically around pay. So I wouldn't want to imply that Dr. Allinson or Mr. Hooper spoke about it. They didn't. It was more around, what else can we do in order to make the Isle of Man a better place to come to work and have a better standard of living once you're here. It was more around that conversation.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.